Thanks very much, Steve. It's great to be here this evening. And you do so much to bring other poets' work into the light. Really appreciate it. My Broken Sleep pamphlet came out about a month ago, and I'll read a couple of short poems from it. Despite the lungs on the cover, I didn't start writing this in response to COVID, but in reaction to a much more established disease, tuberculosis or TB, which still kills 1.5 million people every year. The old name for TB was phthisis, and is the title of my first poem. Phthisis. This is what? A lisp, as if the tongue has lost its nerve, grown to fill the mouth. This is perhaps an ivied word, half in love with easeful, but defies any glamorous decline, any refining of the body, though this is, it's true, a wasting of the flesh, a shrinking back to bone. This is not Camille nor Violetta, no Marguerite, nor any flower but safflower, madder, walnut husk, a foraging for hope. This is a shroud for silence, an erotics of shame, the stigma of a lover named Blauer Heinrich, a sputum flask in cobalt glass, a whisper from the whistling chest, a liquefaction of the lung. This is a burning as the drowning starts. This has acquired a new expression. This is multi-drug resistant. This remains almost unspeakable. So TB lies in my family history. My parents emigrated from Ireland to work in London, where they each separately contracted it, and they met each other at an NHS sanatorium where they were sent to recover. But they never told us children that this is where they met until after they'd retired. There's a huge amount of shame attached to a TB diagnosis. It's a disease of poverty, of overcrowded housing. It's often prevalent amongst immigrant communities, and there's a real reluctance to talk about it. So my mum and dad used to tell a single story when we asked them where they met each other. And this poem, on the page, has got every line apart from the refrain crossed out. My parents' admissions. I leant too close, inhaled it from my patient. I breathed it in at seminary prayers. We met at a dance. A cough that failed to leave, a wheeze. I hacked into my handkerchief. We met at a dance. I recognised those caverns on my x-ray. I hoped for streptomycin, wonder drug. We met at a dance. Instead, a state-run sanatorium, another green hill far away. We met at a dance. They collapsed my lung to let it rest. They left me with a dorsal scar. We met at a dance. We ignored the morgue discreetly out the back. A waltz supplied, light exercise. We met at a dance. When you make the decision to write about family history, it's a big decision. And this little poem, which is called Tuberculosis, plays with the letters in the word to reference that. Tuberculosis. Let's obscure our troubles, blur sources, sluice closets, hold our losses close to us. Curious soloist, I rise, utter stories, illicit lilies, bisect, bruise, bless our tribe. And I'll finish with, I'm afraid it's a COVID poem. It was written a couple of years ago when the first lockdown happened, and it's a guzzle. April inhalations. Patternless days, The parks winnowing my lockdown. Apple blossom spirals following the lockdown. Leaflets singing green shield each apple bud from frost or airborne blight blowing in the lockdown. The count is rising, the pollen and the bodies. Each news report's a fractal, shadowing the lockdown. Slower global rhythms sound a single tone, a wasp tasked with surveillance, yellowing the lockdown. Today, I miss the blackbird, mess of feathers, silent nest. Which animals are equal undergoing lockdown? Even language seems infected. This little suffix al, viral, exponential, is exploding in the lockdown. To name myself my love would carve the page like stone, a petal-blown memorial, the harrowing of the lockdown. Thanks.